In this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps you'll need to start and scale a digital marketing agency in 2023. Whether you're looking to create long-term wealth for your family or just looking for that lucrative side hustle, a social media marketing agency is without a doubt one of the best business models for aspiring entrepreneurs. And at the end of this video, you'll have all the tools you require in order to scale your agency to six figures and beyond. You can use that money to buy your dream car, pay off your parents' mortgage, or maybe you want to reinvest everything to build generational wealth. The opportunities are endless and starting an agency will change your life forever. So let's get straight into it. So here we are, a full free SMMA course, how to start and scale your own social media marketing agency to $100,000 in 2023. So in the course, we're going to be looking at what is a social media marketing agency, freelance versus agency model, the age of social media, our agency foundations, how to actually get clients, how to structure those sales meetings, the onboarding process once you actually get a client, service delivery, so what do we actually do for clients once we acquire them, and then how to scale to six figures and how it's actually easier than you think, and then where do you go from here. So that is the full course overview, so let's get straight into it. Social media marketing, what does it mean and how does it actually work? So I've broken it down into two categories to make it as simple as possible because social media marketing as a whole could be quite overwhelming. So for the purpose of this course, we're going to be looking at paid ads and social media management. Paid ads is where you run ads for a company or brand and in return they receive leads or sales. It's also known as paid traffic. Social media management is where we're responsible for the client's social media content, their growth, and the general upkeep of their accounts. Services include day-to-day management and content scheduling. So here we can see paid ads. I'm sure you've all seen them on Facebook and other social media platforms, but on the left, we can see an ad for Jasper's Boutique. In the middle, we can see what happens when you click on the ad. And this is just to give you an idea of what we actually do for the clients on the paid ads front. In terms of social media management, we can see here three different Instagram profiles. And if you were in charge of these profiles, you'd be looking after things like the bio, their story highlights, the content, captions and scheduling and things like that. So very different than paid ads, but very powerful in its own right. So what do we do as social media marketers? We take advantage of this new social media era for brands. We launch ads and create content to generate exposure, and we get paid handsomely to do so. Services we can offer other than social media management and paid ads, just for some context, for the purpose of this course, we're going to focus on them too. But just so you're aware, we can offer things like website design, email marketing, SEO, and consulting. So why would a business owner actually hire you? Well, first and foremost, a return on investment. They can actually see a return for what revenue is being created when you run paid ads for them. So let's say you spend $1,000 in 1 month for an e-commerce store, and in return, you get them $5,000 in sales. A business owner can obviously see that 5 multiple return on investment, and this is obviously very appealing to them. Another aspect of it is marketing confuses business owners. A lot of the time, business owners are operators. They're not very creative when it comes to marketing. So marketers can really bring a lot of value to the table by taking all that stress away from the business owner. It also frees up their time. As I said before, business owners are operators. They're doing a million things. They're doing things like sales, managing their team, back-end operations. They haven't got the time for all the technicalities of marketing, and that's where we come in. If we can offer an automated and done-for-you service, this is a huge appeal to business owners. So let's look at the freelance versus agency model. A freelancer is you and you alone. You acquire the clients, you do all the work, and there's a lot more work involved, but the profit is higher. Profit is higher because you have no team members getting paid. There's very few expenses. However, you cannot scale this business model. You only have so many hours in the day, so you can only handle a certain amount of clients. As opposed to the agency model, here we can see my agency logo just below Agency Maverick Socials. An agency is where you build a team. Profits are obviously lower because you have more expenses. However, this means you can scale fast because you can lean on your team. You can automate your business and run it from anywhere in the world and have an actual tangible business. So moving on, the age of social media, why now is the right time to start your marketing agency? There are currently 4.66 billion social media users. The world's population is 7.83 billion. That means 60% of the world are on social media. That is just incredible. Read that again if that hasn't sunk in. 4.15 billion of those people have social media on their phones. And down here, we can see Hootsuite's research. For anyone that doesn't know, Hootsuite is a very popular social media scheduling software. And we can see here the world's most used social platforms. So Facebook is obviously still king with 2.936 billion users. And then below that, obviously YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram. So you can see here the sheer volume of people that are on social media. Here we can see the average number of social media platforms used. Right up at the top end, we can see Brazil with 8.7 platforms per person. In the middle, we can see worldwide at around 7.5 platforms per person. And at the bottom end, Japan in around 3.9 platforms. So this just shows you again, if we go worldwide and go 7.5 platforms per person, that is just incredible. That means every person has on average 7.5 social media platforms on their phone, which is just incredible. Brands are going to pay huge money to get that kind of exposure and to get those kind of eyeballs. Here we have another graph where it is looking at daily time spent using social media. Worldwide, it's about 2.5 hours. Up at the top end, we have about 4 hours in Nigeria, and the bottom end, Japan, is about an hour. But if we look on average worldwide, 2.5 hours people are spending every single day on social media. But again, just shows you the kind of eyeballs that are on social media every single day. And here's one more. Social media is continuing to grow year on year. If we go back to January 2012, there was about 1.482 billion users on social media. 10 years later, up here in January 2022, there is 4.623 billion users. It is just incredible. Every year we've seen an average of 10 to 15% growth, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. The demand for social media marketing is huge, and it's only going to get stronger. If those graphs didn't tell you that now is the best time to build your marketing agency, I don't know what will. So agency foundations, we've now confirmed that now is the best time to start your agency. So let's get into the weeds, everything we need to run a 6-figure agency in 2023. So what we're going to be looking at is your custom domain and email, your meeting software for your sales calls, picking an actual niche to target, creating an irresistible offer, building your A team, and capturing leads to actually go out and outreach to. And then we're going to get into client acquisition, how to actually acquire those lucrative, high-paying clients. So let's get into it. Custom domain and email. What I want you to do is go to G Suite and purchase a domain for approximately $5. This will be your agency name. However, I don't want you to overthink this. A common mistake at the start for people is they want this really cool and unique and fancy name. It really does not matter that much. A bit of a name guide that you can follow is your initials followed by digital. So mine would be DP Digital, for example. This would mean your domain will be dpdigital.com, and it will mean your email is dylan@dpdigital.com. Don't worry about a website for now, as you don't need one. All we need right now is a professional email address for communication. So meeting software. For this, you will need to make a free Zoom.us account and also create a Calendly account, which will cost you about $10 per month. Then you will integrate both softwares with each other, and this is where your online meetings will be held. Clients will book in on your Calendly link, where you will have preset times that show when you're available. This is what your Calendly backend would look like. So here we can see the dates for February 2022. Over on the right hand side, we can see the times that you're available, 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Basically here, this person is available every 30 minutes, but let's say you weren't available at 9:30 and 10:30, then in Calendly's backend, you can take those times out, meaning the client can't book in them times. So picking a niche, this is really important. And what I want to get installed into your mind is avoid e-com. Pick a local brick and mortar business, as this is going to be much higher converting. E-com is just too saturated. All the gurus online are saying, go for e-com, go for e-com. It's completely saturated. E-com business owners know more about ads than you do, as they've built that from the ground up. Just avoid this niche. Ideally, you want to pick a niche that you have some knowledge in. However, knowledge is not essential at the start, as you can always get researching. But if you have a family background, or maybe your parents owned a business and say the plumbing niche, this would be really beneficial, as it's going to give you a leg up in sales calls. So good entry niches could be roofers, deckers, plumbing, HVAC, lawyers, etc. However, don't get too honed in on this. You can always pivot down the line, but make sure you have a niche. So crafting your offer. We need an offer that's going to set ourselves apart from the competition. Your offer is unique to your agency, and it's vitally important that we absolutely nail this. A basic offer could be, we run ads for dentists. However, a great offer would be, we get dental practices 20 new patients every single month, or they don't pay. So just ask yourself the question, if you're on a sales call with someone like me and I give you these two different offers, which offer do you think you're going to go for? An irresistible offer can help you scale so quickly. So make sure you have this absolutely nailed before going into your first sales call. Now we're on to building a team. So one thing to remember is we are not creating a new job for ourselves. That is the last thing we want. Our job is as the general, not the foot soldiers. The key is in the name. Business owners, not self-employed. This is a really key principle that I need you to read over and learn. To build a six-figure agency, we need a team to scale. At the start, we can play around with being freelance. However, the end goal is to delegate, not operate. To build long-term wealth, this is a vital mindset shift. Where can I find a team? So these are some of my favorite platforms to find a team and where I've personally found multiple team members down the years. Upwork.com, freelancer.com, and Facebook groups are really underrated method of finding high quality team members. So go on these platforms, create accounts, put jobs out for whether it's a virtual assistant, whether it's a media buyer, a graphic designer, a social media manager, whatever it may be, you need to build your team with high quality team members from the outset, as that takes a lot of the work off your shoulders. So what should you pay team members? You're probably thinking in your head, what the hell do I pay these people? So here I've broke it down for you step by step. Social media managers should be around $10 to $20 per post. That is the actual creative and the copy of the post. So if you're on Instagram, that would be, let's say, the graphic and the caption. Media buyers for Facebook and Google should be 50% of your retainer. So let's say you charge a client for $1,000 for Facebook ads for 1 month, you should pay your media buyer 50% of that, so $500. Virtual assistants, you can get really good virtual assistants overseas for $5 to $10 per dollars, and just give them admin tasks, maybe create lead lists or maybe handle your emails, whatever it may be. Appointment setters are essentially people who will go out and fill your calendar with appointments. So they will go and do various outreach methods and they'll charge you $50 to $100 per appointment. So that's per call booked in your calendar for, say, a Facebook ads prospect or a Google ads prospect. The last two are when you start to scale. So closers, people to take your sales calls, that'll be 10 to 15% of the retainer on the sale. And then operations manager, obviously, to handle your whole operation and completely remove you from your agency, a salary of $1,000 to $2,000 per month, depending on what their workload is. So take a note of all this, really important, and make sure you know this when you go out to hire what you should be paying good team members. So how do we capture leads? How do we find businesses and prospects to outreach to? For this, we're going to be using a tool called D7 Lead Finder, and this costs around $30 per month, and it scrapes niches in various locations to find contact details. So let's say we want to find dentists in Texas. We input that into D7 Lead Finder and it populates business owner contact details. We then save these lead lists for our outreach. So when we put it into D7 Lead Finder, it's going to pop out a phone number, an email address, and then URLs for things like LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And then that's how we outreach to our prospects. So this is what D7 Lead Finder looks like on the back end. There's done a search for attorneys in New York here, and we can see their phone number, their website, email, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So you can see how powerful D7 Lead Finder can be. Here you have prospects in your niche ready to go. So those were the foundations in terms of building a six-figure agency. So how do we get those high-paying, lucrative clients? Let's get into client acquisition. So what I want you to remember is on client acquisition, outreach is a numbers game. You will speak to dozens, if not hundreds of business owners before finding someone who's interested in your services. You must stay resilient and you must stay patient. When you find the right client, they will pay you handsomely. Before you start, as discussed, make sure you have that professional email, as that's going to be really important for communication. So what do I recommend? So daily outreach, what do I recommend doing every single day in order to get those clients? Down below here, we can see the multiple platforms that I recommend. We're going to get into those later, but these are the numbers and how long it will take. 15 to 30 job applications on Upwork, which takes around 90 minutes to 3 hours. 10 to 20 Instagram DMs, which takes about 30 minutes to 1 hour. 10 to 20 LinkedIn DMs, which takes about 30 minutes to 1 hour. And 10 to 20 cold calls, which takes around 1 hour. And again, as discussed, use D7 Lead Finder to find leads to actually use these outreach methods on. So Upwork, for those who don't know, Upwork is a platform where businesses post jobs and then freelancers, professionals, and in our case, agencies apply to those jobs. So here on the screen, we can see my profile picture, my location, my job success score, and then below that, just to show you how powerful this platform actually is, I just searched Facebook ads the other day and there's 8,790 jobs on Upwork with Facebook ads tagged. Now, if that doesn't show you how powerful this platform is, I don't know what will. I personally used Upwork to scale to £17,000 per month in under 90 days. It is an incredible platform. So over on the right-hand side here, we can see a Facebook ad job. I have an online web shop selling gemstones. My business is okay, but I like to step it up by implementing ads. Blah, 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 what they want included in the job. And then at the bottom, $1,000. So this is a perfect entry-level Facebook ad job that is just waiting there to be sold. So now I'm going to go into a bit of an Upwork tutorial to show you how to get clients on the platform. So once you start applying to jobs, this is the home screen. This is what you will see. So you will get best matches here. These are like jobs that Upwork think fit you based on your skills and things that you've added to your profile. Not necessarily something I would use regularly. So I would go ahead and I would search, let's go for Facebook ads. So here we are with the results for Facebook ads, 9,216 jobs, which is absolutely incredible when you think about it. These are warm prospects that are actively looking for Facebook ads. So if that's something you offer, you have so much opportunity here. Over on the left side, we can see experience level, entry, intermediate, expert, then job type, fixed price, so you can really niche down in terms of what you're looking for. For the purpose of this, we are just going to look at the jobs as they are. So let's start scrolling down to see if we can find any good ones. This one I would not apply as it's in India because usually, you know, they haven't got a big budget, so I would just ignore that one. This one, they're looking for more social media manager, which isn't really relevant to us. This one, they're looking for a media buyer for a cosmetic brand. So usually what you will find is if they use the term media buyer, then it's a company looking for an actual person to come in and run ads for that business. That's not what we're looking for as an agency. We are looking for Facebook ads. So we will keep scrolling. This one again, $15 to $20, not very relevant to us. Expert social media manager needed to develop a comprehensive course on social media management. Not massively relevant because it's more social media management, so we wouldn't really apply to that. We're looking for Facebook ads. Okay, here's a good one. My business partner and I run a small business on Facebook selling designer purses and luxurious blankets. We started the business on April 9th, 2022, and we've had some really good success. Okay, this sounds like a good job. Let's go ahead and apply to this one. Okay, once clicked into the job, this is what you will see. So Facebook and Instagram marketing, and you can see they put a lot of detail into this. So I would usually read through this, get a feel for the project, and then scroll down and I would see other details about the product. So you can see skills and expertise. Then if you scroll down and you see activity on this job, this is really, really important. So it's got less than 5 proposals, which means it's fresh. So if you apply to this quickly, you can get in there and the people will see your proposal. There's a much higher chance of them seeing your proposal if there was, say, 30 proposals. So that's something I definitely look out for. I also look out for how many people they're interviewing. So currently they're interviewing 0 people, which is another really, really good sign. If they're interviewing like 10 people, then the chances are it's going to be very, very difficult to land that job. So this is looking really, really good. I would then scroll up and look at the client. They're in the United States, which is a good sign. Their payment method isn't verified, but they look like they're very new to the platform, which is, you know, relatively normal. So I would go ahead and click apply now. So once you click apply now, it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. And then it says what specialized profile you want to apply to. So essentially on Upwork, let's say you have multiple services you offer, in my case, Facebook and Google Ads, you can create specialized profile for that specific service. For the purpose of this video, I would just click general profile because the more you use the platform, you can then start using things like specialized profile. Not that important at the minute. So then scroll down and you will see terms. So the client's budget is obviously between $8 and $25, a lot lower than my hourly rate of $50. However, from experience, this isn't hugely important. You know, if you build a good rapport and the client likes you, they can pay above what they had budgeted. So I wouldn't worry too much about this currently. Then we're down to the cover letter. So usually when I'm using Upwork, I will have my cover letter in another tab. Your cover letter is essentially a version of your bio and is what you use to apply to jobs. So here I put in my cover letter and the first thing I do is customize it with their name. Now, fortunately here they have actually included their name. So I would put in, hey Jamie, just to show the client you've done a bit of research, you see their name, customize it so it's not a template that they're getting sent 100 of on all their applications. Hey Jamie, just customizes it a little bit. Let's take out that comma. And then we say, I have a ton of experience in their niche. So let's scroll up here and see the niche, designer purses and luxurious blankets. So let's say, that's quite a unique niche. Let's say luxury fashion, as that's quite relevant. And that just shows, you know, that this person has worked in their niche. and they have a bit of experience, and it's going to set you apart from the other applicants. Then my cover letter, there's a bit of emojis, creative copy, there's a bit of humor, and then there's some e-commerce case studies here. On my cover letter, I have two different ones. I have a cover letter for e-commerce and I have a cover letter for lead gen. So depending on the job, I will use either or. So go ahead and paste in your cover letter. It's going to be a variation of your bio, but it's going to be more for a job application. So I've scrolled through mine. You can take, again, do not copy this. It makes no sense to copy this, but take bits and pieces that are relevant to you, put in your own case studies, and then customize it for each and every job. So after that's done, we scroll down and we see Upwork's new boosting system. So essentially you use what's called connects. Connects are the currency of Upwork. And this is constantly changing as the platform evolves. So you can see here, first place is 8 connects, second place is 7 connects, and third place is 7 connects. So usually what I would do, just to be cost efficient, would always go for third place. And how we do that is we click select bid, we click on 7, and then we place our bid. So that means we are now in the top 3 applicants for this job. And what that means is when the client sees all the job applicants on their back end, they're tiered. And that's based on how many connects you bid as a freelancer. So it can be quite expensive if you're constantly going for first place. However, I know that if you go for third place, you still get seen and it's a lot more cost effective. So we go ahead and send that for 7 connects, and that should mean that we get seen by the clients. So let's go back here and look at another job, and let's scroll down, and you can see there is just constantly jobs being posted. So marketing expert, we're looking for an experienced marketing expert to help with strategy and execution for our company. This would primarily involve social media strategy, ads, and promotion, as well as conversion tracking. Again, this sounds like a great job. Let's look at this. So here we see the page for a marketing specialist, and they're looking for an experienced marketing specialist to help with strategy execution. Well, now what we want to see is they want ads, and they've included that. So this is a much bigger client. Now, what I don't like is they haven't included a lot of detail in their description. However, on the right-hand side here, we can see they've posted 86 jobs on Upwork. They've spent $31,000, and they are based in the United States. That's really, really good. That's what we want to see. This is a client, they're willing to spend money, and they've been on the platform for a long time. So if we scroll down here, you can see this job is a lot more popular. So 10 to 15 proposals, and they're interviewing a person already, which isn't the end of the world. So if we then scroll down, we can see the client's reviews. So who has worked with this client and what's the review? So surprisingly, they've actually got a bad review here. I do not recommend working with Nikita. If you receive invitation from him, run. That's quite surprising, because if we scroll up here, we can actually see that they have an overall 4.8 out of 5-star rating from 31 reviews. The next one down is 5 stars, and then the next one down again is 1 star. Usually what I would do is not apply to this job, because it would feel like the client is not a good person to work with. However, I would make an exception here, because overall they have 4.8 out of 5 stars. So usually if I scroll down here and I see a bad review, I will not apply to that job. However, this time I'm going to make an exception because they look like a really good client and the job's a good fit. Usually you want to see their average score here, which is 4.8 out of 5 stars. So I'm going to go ahead and apply. Again, it's going to bring us to a proposal page like this. We want to go with general profile, then scroll down, and we're going to put in our cover letter again, which we paste in. And then we know from the guy's reviews that the client's name is Nikita. So we put in Nikita. This time it does not mention their niche, so we can't really customize it on the niche end. So usually I would just say something like, I have a ton of experience in Facebook ads, and just leave it like that. Unfortunately, sometimes if they don't put a lot of information in their bio, you can't customize it any better than that. So let's leave it like that. So let's scroll down again to our bidding system, and you can see here it's different from last time. So the top bid for first place is actually 10 connects. Second place, 8 connects. However, as it's a fresh enough job, there's actually no bids on third place. So we would go ahead, select a bid, and let's go ahead and put in 6. That should get us up to third place. So you can see here, we're straight into third place, and then we go ahead and send that for 6 connects. So back to the job search. So here we go. Here's a job that would work if you're offering Facebook and Instagram ads. Here we are, looking for someone to create, test, scale, and monitor meta ad sets, audience testing, retargeting, video and images provided, some copywriting may be needed. So perfect. Let's go ahead and apply to this job. So this is what it looks like when you get onto the job page. You can see here is the job bio. Then they put in details here, 1 to 3 months, intermediate, $25 to $60, which falls within my hourly range. You can see over here on the right-hand side, they're based in the United Kingdom. And if we scroll down, we can see here proposals less than 5, interviewing 0, as this job is only up in the last hour, which is ideal for what we're looking for. This would be a good job to apply to. So again, click apply, and then it will take you to a page like this. Again, general profile, scroll down, they have their hourly rate in there. We want to paste our cover letter in. Now on a job like this, we don't have a name or we don't have a niche. So unfortunately, there's nothing really we can do there. We're just going to say something like, hey there. And then as said before, I have a ton of experience in Facebook ads. Unfortunately, this is going to probably look a little bit like a template to them, but there's just no way we can customize it. They are new to the platform. They've included little to no info in their job. So we just have to go with the flow and apply like that. We go down to the bidding system. Again, it's different than the last one. 8 for first place, 7 for second place, and 7 for third place. I would go ahead and bid 7, which is going to get us up there in the top 3, 4, and then go ahead and send that job. Okay, let's look for something maybe more competitive, because let's say it has a bigger budget, or due to the nature of the job, it's just very appealing to a lot of Facebook ad agencies. So if we scroll down, let's see if we can find anything. Okay, perfect. Seeking an experienced Google Ads specialist for hairbrush brand expansion. This is going to be really, really sought after, and you can see there 20 to 50 proposals. So here's what it looks like once you click into the job, and you can see here they include a lot of detail, and they actually go into specifics of average order values and profit margins, which shows they really know what they're talking about. This is an established brand. If we go over on the right hand side, we can see the reviews. They're based in the Netherlands. They've actually posted 70 jobs on Upwork, $79,000 spent, and obviously they're in the fashion and beauty niche. So if we scroll down, they have a question, describe your recent experience with similar projects, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then if we scroll down, they have 20 to 50 proposals on this, and they're interviewing 2 people. So this is a really, really competitive job. And then if we scroll down, we can see the reviews for the client. Can we get a name? We go to see more. Okay, perfect. We have a name, so we can customize our job application. Now, usually if this is a hyper competitive job, I would say, maybe stay away from it, but they're only interviewing 2 people, which means from the proposals, they haven't really found someone they like. So let's go up and let's go to apply to job. And again, it will bring you to a page that looks like this. You're going to go with general profile, and then you're going to scroll down and you're going to see the job post again. So we want to go down, we're applying with our hourly rate. And then again, we are putting in our cover letter. And from our research on the job post, we've seen that the guy's name is Crit. And then we want to say that we have a ton of experience in the beauty niche. Perfect. So great. I'm glad there's a question on this. So when you start applying to jobs on Upwork, you're going to be asked prospecting questions. Sometimes there's 1, sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 5. What you're going to do at the start is you're going to write down all these questions as you're applying to jobs. And at the end, you'll maybe have 25 questions that you get asked. Then you want to write in a really good answer to that question. And then you can copy and paste that answer when the question comes up like this. So I have my screening questions open beside me in a different tab, and I've just pasted in my answer for this question. So again, don't copy this, go and do your own. It makes no sense for you to copy this, but this is my answer, and that's what I put in for that specific question. If you have all the questions and your answers ready to go, you can do this so quickly. So that's how we do the questions. So as we scroll down, we can actually see the bid section on this job. You can see here, it is super competitive, 23 connects for first place. So if you're starting out on Upwork, this is just not going to be sustainable, because you actually have to purchase connects on the platform. And if you're bidding 23 connects per job, you're going to burn through your connects pretty fast. So there's nothing really we can do here. We can't bid, which means we're not going to be in the top 4 places. But what the good news is, on a job like this, where the person is obviously looking for an expert, they're going to go through their bidders in a lot of detail. So even though you're not going to be in the top 4, you're probably still going to be seen. So if you've got a good profile with good reviews, you're still going to get a chance. So we're just going to go ahead and send it for 8 connects. So I've given you a good feeler of what the jobs look like on Upwork, and you can see the trend. As you go through the jobs, you're going to pick the ones that are relevant to you and that have the budget that can afford you and your services, but there is just so much opportunity there. The jobs we just looked at were literally in the last 60 minutes on Upwork. So each day you're going to go through and pick out the jobs that are applicable to you and your agency, and you're going to start applying to them. So what do you do when you start getting responses? Let's start looking at my messages on Upwork. So once you start applying to jobs and people like your application, they are going to respond, and then you will get a message in your Upwork Messenger. So this is what it looks like on the back end. This is showing my cover letter, and then the client has obviously responded saying, "Hi Dylan, how are you? Are you available for a quick chat today?" And then this is where I actually pre-qualify them for our call. So I said, "Hey, great to meet you. Is it okay if I ask a few questions prior to the call?" And then I ask questions like, have you run ads before? What is your current monthly marketing budget? And how soon are you looking to get started? So this shows me, one, what do they know about ads? Have they run ads before? Are they knowledgeable on the topic? And what is their current monthly marketing budget? Because if their budget is $500, then they can't afford my agency service. So there's no point in me hopping on a call if they can't even afford me in the first place. And then I say, how soon are you looking to get started? Because it lets me know how eager they are to get going. Because if someone isn't really that interested in moving quickly, I probably don't want to be working with them. So she came back and she said, yes, I've run ads before. My monthly budget is $1,000. And how soon are you looking to start? She said ASAP. So unfortunately, $1,000 wouldn't really cut it in terms of working with my agency and I. So I said, look, hey, thanks for all the info. Unfortunately, I don't think we'd be able to work together based on your budget. And she said, no worries at all. Thanks for letting me know. So that avoided me hopping on a sales call with this client when they actually couldn't afford me in the first place. So this is a good lesson, as not all the responses you get on Upwork will actually turn into a call and actually turn into a client. So let's look at a conversation in Messenger that actually resulted in a call and actually resulted in a client close. So let's scroll down again. You can see my cover letter here. He comes back and says, hey Dylan, thanks for responding to my post. It would be good to have a chat around your experience and your thoughts. Are you around tomorrow to hop on a call? Hey, great to meet you. Absolutely. What time works for you? So this is really important. It's really, really vital that you work around the client and you hop on a call as soon as possible, because you can guarantee they're hopping on other calls and they'll have a lot of competition around the role. So you want to get to them as soon as possible. Great, see you then, and we get on the call. So that truly shows you how easy it is to get a response on Upwork and then hop on a call all immediately. This all happened in the space of a couple of hours and we had the call booked in. Let's look at another example. Here is another client that responded, hi Dylan, thanks for reaching out. Let's have a catch-up call tomorrow afternoon if that's okay with you. Hey, great to meet you. When works for a call? 15 minutes, I'll be free. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions beforehand? Yes. Have you run ads before? What is your current monthly marketing budget? How soon are you looking to get started? Yes, they've run ads before. Their daily spend is £50 to £60, which is about £1,500 per month. Just about meets my bare minimum. I said, okay, sounds good. Unfortunately, I have a few calls today. However, I could do tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning should be okay. What's your email? Gives out the email. That's booked in. Call secured. And this actually resulted in a close as well. So this just shows how much opportunity there is on the platform. If you're applying to X amount of jobs per day, I recommend 30 as a good base number. You will get responses, you will get calls, and you will get clients. So that's Upwork. Now we're back to Instagram. And here on the left-hand side, we can see one of my professional Instagram outreach accounts. Marketer, I help dentists acquire 10 to 20 more patients every single month. And then under that, would you like to fill your practice's calendar? And on Instagram, we are simply going to be DMing prospects. So remember, on D7 Lead Finder, we are going to have a prospect list. Let's say there's 1,000 dentists on D7 Lead Finder. I would then go to their Instagram accounts and DM them a script, go through the script once they reply, and then book them on a sales call. It is as simple as that. And it works. You can see here on the right hand side, I went through the script. They've said, okay, I'm interested. Let's get in a call. I then sent them my Calendly link. I'm not going to go through a run through on Instagram of how we actually do it because it's pretty self-explanatory, but get out there and get DMing and you will land calls. The next outreach method is LinkedIn, and it is very similar to Instagram in that you're going to set up your profile for conversions, you're going to have a professional cover photo, you're going to have a professional profile photo, and you're going to have your offer just under your name, as we can see I've highlighted here. Again, we're going to use D7 Lead Finder to have a list of prospects, and you just go through your script like Instagram and then book them on a call in your Calendly link. And then our final outreach method, cold calling. This is the one that everyone fears, but let me assure you, if done correctly, it is so effective. We're going to get the numbers off D7 Lead Finder, and then we're going to call and find the decision maker, the person who runs the business and is in charge of making the final decision. We're going to go through the script and book them on a discovery call, and I have a full in-depth walkthrough on my channel of how to do this. So go ahead and check that out, because cold calling can really scale your agency fast. So follow-ups. I want you to record every single lead on Google Sheets, and I want you to follow up with them after 3, 6, and 10 days. Follow-ups will be responsible for 10 to 20% of your clients. So if you DM a client and you never hear back, do not let that prospect die. Follow up after 3, 6, and 10 days, and you will land clients through this tactic. So don't forget to follow up. Make sure to record all your prospects. So prospect meetings. What do we do when we land a meeting with a client? How do we prepare for the meeting? How do we structure the meeting? Let's get into it. So first and foremost, before we actually get on the call, we are going to perform due diligence. What social media are they currently using? Do they currently run ads? Are their ads underperforming? Are they currently posting social media content? Is their engagement low? Why do we think that is? And do they have competitors that maybe we can emulate? Also, what areas do we think we could help them with? Let's say we have a call regarding their Facebook ads, but we actually think Google ads could work really well for this client. Can we implement that into the call? So make sure you do your due diligence. So all our meetings are going to be held on Zoom, as we discussed earlier in the training. Everything is on Zoom. So make sure you have your name on your account. You have a professional picture. Your background is professional. You have screen sharing enabled, and there will be 0 interruptions for the duration of the call. Make sure you're in a quiet and peaceful place. Also have a notepad and pen beside your laptop ready to take notes, and also have your sales call script ready to rock, and make sure you know it inside out. So on to the onboarding process. We've had our call with the client. The meeting has went well. We followed all the tips I've discussed here on the course. Now, how do we onboard that client into our agency? Well, here we have the onboarding outline. So on the left-hand side, we have the close. Then we're going to invoice the client, and then we send them an onboarding form. After the onboarding form, we get them into Slack. After in Slack, we get access to their ad account, and then we hand it off to our team. And as it says below, this must be a slick and efficient process, because this is going to be the client's first impression of you. It needs to be really professional and really efficient. So let's look at each one in a little bit more detail. The close obviously explains itself. That means we have closed the client. In terms of invoicing, we are going to be using a platform called Stripe. Stripe.com is an extremely popular invoicing platform, and you need to go and make an account right now. Stripe don't actually charge you any money upfront. What they do is they take a percentage of your retainer. So let's say you charge a client $1,000. Stripe will maybe take $20 or $30 in order to use their invoicing software, but it's absolutely fantastic. So go ahead and create a Stripe account, as that will be taking care of your invoicing. In terms of the onboarding form, I use Google Forms in my agency, and it just happens to be free. It's a fantastic tool that Google offers, and it means you can use this right now today for free. So go and create a Google form that you're going to send to the client, and included in that is going to be things like their target market, what age group they want to target with their ads, passwords, creatives. These are all going to be in your onboarding form. So go ahead and create that, and you'll be sending that to your client before they come into Slack. Now on to Slack. Slack is where all of your agency communication is going to be. So you're going to have your clients in there, you're going to have your team members in there, and that's your complete communication hub. So go ahead and create a Slack account, because that is where your agency HQ is going to be located. Then you're simply going to ask the client for access to their ad accounts. If it's Facebook, for example, you just need to give the client your team's email, or even your email address if you're going to run the ads, and then they can just add you on Facebook's backend. And then the team, we sort of just covered there with access, then they are going to run the ads or run their social media depending on what service you're offering. And I know I talked about this before, but I'm going to say it again because it's so important. This must be a slick and efficient process. It's your client's first impression of you and your business, so make it really good. So we've now onboarded the client successfully into our agency. Now we're going to look at service delivery. How do we actually get results and fulfill the service for the client? So for the purpose of this, we'll be looking at Facebook ads. And to recap, your team will be creating the ads on Facebook for your clients. How it's important that we know the fundamentals as we will be selling the service to prospects on our sales calls. So you should be able to create a Facebook ad should your team be absent for whatever reason. So let's look at the type of ads on Facebook. We can see here on the right hand side what it looks like on Facebook's backend, but the type of ads you'll be creating are things like page like campaigns, video view campaigns, post engagement campaigns, app installs, lead forms, and the most popular, conversion campaigns. So if we look at two different clients, say for example, e-commerce and maybe a software company who has an application, for the software company, you will be running app install campaigns. However, for the e-commerce campaign, you will be running conversion campaigns as you want to drive sales and drive conversions. So obviously this is a very top level basic breakdown, but go away and research these campaigns in depth so you can speak very, very eloquently about them on sales calls. Moving on, let's look at ad terms. So here we can see a Facebook ad actually on Facebook, and at the top we have the brand name, and then just below the brand name, that is where the copy goes. Below the copy, we have the creative, which is like the photo or the video, and then below that we have the headline, description, and CTA. CTA stands for call to action, and that is where we're going to drive the person either to a store or to an app install like previously discussed. Next, let's talk about the Facebook pixel. So if you've been researching SMMA and looking at Facebook ads, you'll have heard this term come up often. The Facebook pixel is a code that we insert into our client's website that collects data from visitors. It means we can use this data to assess performance and then do things like retargeting. The Facebook pixel is the most powerful targeting tool in the world, and it's what makes Facebook ads so popular. So make sure you know what the Facebook pixel is and you can speak about it in detail to clients on calls. Next, we're going to talk about retargeting. We use this after we've built up some data with the clients, and it can be extremely powerful. This means we can retarget customers that have visited the client website but maybe didn't purchase for whatever reason. Maybe their parents called them or maybe their computer died, but we know they're a warm prospect, so retargeting them obviously can lead to very successful campaigns. This is usually used when we want to scale campaigns. However, you need to know retargeting inside out when on sales calls. So this is what Facebook's Ads Manager looks like on the back end. We can see on the top level, there's campaigns, ad sets, and ads within the blue rectangle. And then below that, we can see things like bid strategy, budget, reach, impressions, results, cost per result. All of these really important KPIs that you're going to come to know very well as you start to run Facebook ads. Now, you're probably a little bit confused in terms of what is a campaign, what is an ad set, what is an ad, and how do they differ? So a campaign is a series of ad sets and ads that aim to accomplish a single objective, such as generating leads or increasing app downloads. Ad sets are within the campaign and focus on audiences primarily. Things like age, gender, location, and interests. And ads are then below that, and these focus on the creatives and copy. I've included this table to make it a little bit easier because even at the start, this kind of really confused me for a long time. So if we look at the campaign right at the top, that's the overall objective. Below the campaign, we have the ad sets, and again, these are the audiences. And then below the ad sets, we have the ads, and this is the creative and copy. This will probably take a while to get your head around, but it's really important you know the difference between the three. So we've now covered service delivery and how we're going to get results and provide a high quality service for the client once closed and onboarded into our agency. So now we're going to look at scaling to $100,000 and getting to that six-figure mark, and how it's actually easier than you might think. So what I want you to do from the outset is record conversion rates. I want you to record every single company you speak to. And after a while, you'll be able to reverse engineer how many businesses you need to speak to in order to get a close. So for some context, my early conversion rates were I would speak to 30 companies, I would land 3 to 5 responses. From those 3 to 5 responses, I would land 2 to 3 calls. And from those 2 to 3 calls, I would close at least one client. So I knew if I spoke to 30 companies, I would get one close. And the reason I'm telling you this is because getting to 10K per month isn't as hard as you think. It's all about crunching the numbers. So let's get into it. For the purpose of this, we're going to be looking at a 6-month period, and we are going to be super conservative so I can show you how realistic and how doable this actually is. So we're going to work off 3% of outreach results in calls. Again, conservative number, and 30% of calls result in closes, which is an industry standard close rate. Obviously 6 months is 24 weeks, and our outreach numbers are 20 businesses per day, extremely doable, would maybe take you 1 to 2 hours, 100 per week, and 400 per month. So our numbers should look like this. We should book 3 calls per week, 12 calls per month, 4 clients per month close, that's that 30% close rate. After 1 month, we're gonna have 4 closes at $750 each. $750, I would say your average retainer is probably gonna be $1,000. But again, I wanna be super conservative and show you how realistic and doable this is. So that'll be $3,000 in a month's revenue for month 1. If you retain your clients after just 4 months and have a low churn rate, which you should do if you follow all the steps I just taught, you will be at $12,000 in monthly revenue after 4 months. That's $3,000 after month 1 times 4, which is $12,000. And if we average that out over 12 months, that's $144,000 in annual revenue. And then you've just got yourself a 6-figure agency. Now, if that sounds too good to be true, it really is that simple. It's just a numbers game. Speak to enough businesses and you will get results. So I've just hit you with a lot of information there. You're probably feeling extremely overwhelmed. And you're probably thinking to yourself, where do I go from here? So what you could do is go and watch more of my free content on YouTube. And if you wanted to go it alone, it will take a lot of time, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of burned cash, like it did for me at the start. However, if you want my help, apply below in the description and I'll see if you qualify for my one-to-one mentorship program. My mentorship program is application only, as I only want to work with the most motivated, the hardest working, and the best in class people out there that want to grow an agency. If I had someone to show me the ropes when I started my agency, I probably would have done double, if not triple, the numbers that I did. Having some guidance there can really be the difference maker in terms of starting your company and scaling it successfully. But what's actually included in my mentorship? Well, again, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to scale your agency fast. And I wanted to make my mentorship program something really, really unique and something I haven't seen many other agency owners or agency coaches offering. So you get access to me within the community. That's one-to-one access to me. You have access to me at all times. You get weekly group coaching calls with me. So that could be on self-development, or it could be in a Q&A, or it could be something I'm working on at the time. These differ all the time, but are full of value. You also get a mastermind community with other agency owners that are working towards the same goal as you. These are people that could keep you accountable, or that could push you on, or someone you could speak to when maybe you're having a bad day in your business. And the next one is something I think is really, really unique, and something that's going to skip you 6 to 12 months of hard work. And that's that you get full access to my own agency team. Virtual assistants, graphic designers, social media managers, media buyers. You get access to my team, and this is going to allow you to scale so quickly. If I had this at the start, it would have been an absolute dream. And the reason I wanted to offer this is because a lot of the gurus out there that are running these courses and mentorships don't actually have an agency. So I wanted to show you and offer you something really, really cool and something very unique that you can come in straight away and plug into your business and use to scale. You also get all outreach, sales calls, and contract templates to plug and play into your agency. And you also get my agency's own results to use for your social proof. So when a potential prospect asks you for a case study, you'll simply send them the case studies that I'm going to provide to you that you'll be able to use as your own. You also get 8 modules and 60 plus videos teaching you how to scale to 10K per month in 90 days, just like I did with my agency. All the systems, processes, and exact strategies I use even in my agency today. I tried to make this offer as unique and as valuable as possible, and I don't know anybody else in the space that's offering this kind of value. And just to show you this stuff actually works, let's look at Niall here, who was able to make $3,000 per month and quit his job. Niall joined the program and after a couple of months was able to double his income and quit his job, which is just incredible, by simply following the processes and systems that I offer inside the mentorship. Or how about Franco, who made $3,250 from one client? How insane is that? Franco came in and worked his ass off in the program. Again, like Niall, applied the systems and processes and started reaping the rewards within a matter of months. Or what about Dom, that was bouncing around from course to course and had absolutely no direction? When Dom and I met, he was overwhelmed with the amount of information in the SMMA space, and he didn't really know where to go. Within a matter of weeks, Dom had closed his first client and is well on the way to becoming a full-time agency owner. So again, if you're interested in my mentorship, apply below in the description and I will see if you qualify. I'm not going to be one of them gurus that's allowing thousands of people to enter my program. You're getting access to me and my team, so we can only accept so many people. So there you have it. You can either go it alone or you can come and join a community of like-minded agency owners that are all working every single day towards their goals. And there's one thing I forgot to mention that'll even sweeten the deal that much more for you. I offer a full refund guarantee if you come into the program and don't land any clients. And the reason I offer this is to show my commitment that this actually works. If you come into the mentorship and apply yourself, there's essentially no risk my side because you're going to land clients. So to reiterate, there's a full refund guarantee if you come into the program and don't land any clients. Inside the community, we have the most up-to-date tools, systems, processes, everything you need to start scaling today. Also, I want you to comment below the reason why you want to start a marketing agency. I'm going to choose the best comment completely at random, and the winner is going to get access to the mentorship completely for free. So get commenting underneath. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found that valuable, and I'll see you soon.